What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm out here with Mojo and we are both worried. So since last night, since about 2 o'clock in the morning, we were both woke up by these storms. In particular, I was woken up by some beeping alarms in the house. You guys know we're so dependent on electrical devices now, and you know those little battery backups that most people put their computers on in offices and sometimes in your house and stuff like that. Well, once they are depleted of juice or battery life, they start beeping and letting you know, hey, this is no longer hooked up to your house and no longer charging. So just like anyone else, and Mojo right here, we don't like the storms. We're here in Oklahoma, and you guys know how bad we can get the storms here. So last night we lost electric twice, not once but twice, which is okay because it come right back on. But now we are pretty much in the middle of spring, almost in the summer. All the trees have foliage and stuff on it, and where we live is very, very rural. So our power lines and stuff go through trees, they go through all these hollers and canyons and stuff like that. So when these storms come in the spring and summertime, after the trees have their foliage on it, we get 60 to 80 mile per hour winds. These trees start swaying and going crazy. Well, their limbs break off and they fall on the power lines. So a lot of people say, oh, we always get brownouts, you know, where your electric might flicker for a little bit, but then it comes right back on. Well, where we live, when that happens, it takes the electric company quite a while to get out to repair the electrical lines. And when you have a farm and you try to be self-dependent, kind of like we are, we got multiple fridges, multiple freezers. You guys know we butcher a lot of our own animals. So whenever the electric goes out and there's no juice for the fridge or the freezers, you got to do something. If you don't get electric quick, you're going to lose a lot of money in your groceries, your freezer goods, your refrigerator goods, all that type of stuff. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. This video is sponsored by Bluetti, and today we are going to be talking about the AC500 and the B300S combo. So before we get into all the features of this Bluetti system, I want to talk about a couple of things that stands out to me. So everybody has a gasoline generator sitting in their barn or their garage or their shop. Well, they're kind of dangerous. One, they put off carbon monoxide, which is a poisonous gas. You can't leave them in your house. Two, they're super loud. So if you have to go out and crank it up in the middle of the night, it's probably going to keep you up and your neighbors aren't going to be happy either. The cool thing about the Bluetti systems, they run off a lithium battery, so they're quiet, they're safe, you can keep them in your house, so if you get woke up in the middle of the night like I did, you don't have to worry about going outside and running extension cords and everything from a safe place outside where you can keep that gasoline generator. You can just keep this right in your garage or your living room or whatever, plug it right in, and you're ready to go. Okay, let's jump into the features. So the AC500 is rated for 5,000 watts or 10,000 watt surges. If you're that person that uses way more power than the normal person, don't worry. You can add up to 6 of these B300S batteries for a max of 18,000 watts. You can recharge these batteries up to 80% for an average of 3,500 life cycles. And you can add an additional AC500 for a total of 240 volt, 10,000 watt split phase system. The AC500 can be charged a total of 6 different ways, from AC to solar, for car, from a generator, from a lead acid battery, and they also offer dual sharing for AC plus AC solar charging at the same time. The AC500 is equipped with 16 versatile outlets, so you can charge 99% of all devices. So let's just talk about a little bit of it. So they got a DC output 12 volt, DC output 24 volt. This would be like a cigarette lighter type. Then you come over here to your DC output. You got a 1,000 watt USB-C, which that is what a lot of the newer phones and electrical devices come with now. Then you have another USB-C 100 watt plug. Then you come down here to your old school type chargers, and you have a USB-A 18 watts. You got 2 of those. And then you got a USB-A 5 volt DC 3 amps. And we'll come on down to your AC. You got a 20 amp max. We got a total of 3 of those. Then you got your big boy. If you guys are into the RV life or camping, you're going to rodeos or you're pulling horse trailers, stuff that takes the bigger type plugs, you have a 30 amp max plug right here. You got another one. Then you got the big boy, the 50 amp. Look at that. Then we'll come on down here. You got an additional cigarette lighter, 12 volt, and 2 more USBs. You got a C and an A. And one of the best features this Bluetti comes with is a 4-year warranty. Okay, so now that we went over the features, let's put this thing to use. So you guys notice I got it set up on the table out here in the shop. And this is where we store most of our meat. So you guys know we butcher chickens, we butcher hogs, we hunt and fish. We have tons of meat that we rely on all year long. Why do you want to buy stuff from the store when you can grow it yourself? But if you don't have electricity or a means to keep it cool or frozen, it's no good. So that is where this thing is going to come in, because it don't matter where you live. It's just a matter of time. If you are on the grid, it's just a matter of time before your electric goes out. Whether the electric company is doing maintenance or you got storms rolling through, just like we do today. And here's the deal. This is why I'm going ahead and setting this up. We already lost electric twice, but the bad storms aren't coming for another few hours into tonight. So we're going to get this thing set up. We're going to do some simulations here to make sure this thing will do what we need it to do. So we're going to put it to the test. So out here we got a freezer, we got a fridge freezer combo. I've got a shop vac out here, got some lights. We're going to hook some power tools to it. We're going to see how much abuse this thing will take and make sure it'll keep our stuff frozen. So I've already got the fridge and the freezer unplugged. I got an extension cord ran over to it. Sometimes whenever you unplug these things, they have a cycle thing that keeps them from just coming right back on when the electricity does go off. That way it don't like blow the compressor. So I went ahead and turned it off. We're gonna hook this up. This is just the AC test here. So first things first, gonna turn that battery on down there. Come up here, turn that on, got green lights. The nice little LED digital screen comes on. All right, so we are at 91% battery. And we'll go over charging and all that type of stuff here in just a little bit. So as you can see, it comes on, everything is turned off by default. So we're gonna go ahead and plug this in to a 20 amp outlet. And we're gonna keep an eye on this, because this is where the load is gonna come on this AC load. And when I'm plugging 2 in at once, that's probably not very smart. I should probably do one at a time, but like I said, if I get woke up in the middle of the night, I'm probably not gonna be thinking very well, and I don't wanna have to fool around with everything. So let's just turn the AC on and keep an eye right here. So it just popped up to 1900 and what was it, 42 watts. We'll walk over here. I heard both of the freezer and the fridge cycle. I can hear the compressors on, the fans are on. That one's on. Let's take a look in here. This one's blowing nice and cold. All right, so that's the first test. We're gonna let them stay on for a little bit. I will come back out here in a little bit. It is at 91%. I'm gonna let that thing run and see if it will continue running the fridge and the freezer long term, and then we'll do some more testing. All right guys, so one thing that is an awesome feature on this Bluetti is the mobile app that you can get on your iPhone or your Android device. So you open the app after you get it downloaded, and you turn your Bluetooth on, and it should pop up here, available devices, and that will be your unit. So go ahead and click on it. And if you're that type of person that wants to use this for outdoors, whether you're going camping or fishing or whatever, or you're just sitting in your living room and you don't want to get out of your chair, this is where the app comes in handy. You can turn on or off your DC and your AC. It'll show you if you're charging, if you have output coming from the battery. In this case, we are only outputting to the fridge and freezer. So while those two are just running and cooling, we're going to let that run for about an hour. And then we're going to come back and check and make sure they're still working and see how our battery life is. So right now, you guys can see we're at 90%. And if you guys see that little green thing going down to the right and down to the orange, that is we're using 311 watts AC. So what I can do is I can turn on the DC, just hit the button. There you go, we got DC. Now you can see we're providing power over to the left side on the DC. Now, if I was to plug this thing into the grid up there on the right, it will actually show you. Let me grab a charging cord and we'll plug this thing in and show you how it works. It will show you how much power you're pulling from your AC grid. All right, so you can see that now we are hooked to the grid. So now we're pulling 1.4 kilowatts to recharge this thing. Now it's up to 1.7. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it because I wanna see how much power this freezer and fridge uses. We are at 88%. The fridge and freezer is still plugged in, as you can see. Fan's still blowing, light's still on, still staying cold. Got the chickens in there. With the fridge and freezer, they're pulling 300 watts, and we're only down 3%. Now, we didn't start at 100, we started at 91%. So now, a little blurry. Now, let's put this thing to the true test. Let's start plugging stuff in and put some real use on this thing and start pulling some watts. So, a couple of things I have here is a DeWalt saw. This thing should pull about, I want to say about 1,000 watts of power. And then we got a DeWalt shop vac here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug one in, see what it does. We're gonna plug the next one in, and we're gonna have 4 devices going at once to put this thing to the test. All right, so let's plug in the shop vac, and then we'll plug in the Sawzall. Now this is gonna be loud, so bear with me. All right, the Sawzall is already plugged in. Let's plug in the shop vac, turn it on. Okay, now that went up to 2,800 watts of a surge. All right, 1,400 watts running. Now let's do the Sawzall. This thing is incredible. Okay, I don't feel like that was enough of a test, so let's put this thing to the test, the true test. Plug in a multi-strip here. We're gonna plug in a MacBook computer because you guys know we have this YouTube channel, and without electricity we would not be able to make videos, we wouldn't be able to charge our batteries to our cameras or edit the videos to post them online. So there's the MacBook, it's plugged in. Got the Sawzall still plugged in. I'm gonna go grab some more power tools and see what this thing will do. All right, we're gonna add a grinder to the mix. That's 1,975. With everything, that was 2,600 watts. All right, let's talk about charging the Bluetti system. So we're at 86%. We're gonna plug in the AC charging cord. You have a white dot right here. You have a white dot on the plug-in. Plug it right in, screw it in. Plug in your AC. You can plug this right into your house. And it shows we are on AC now. It's up to 1,700 watts, so we're charging. And if you guys look out here, we've got a little setup. I've got solar panels set up. Now, it's not ideal solar charging. You guys, I can't even see the sun. I think it's right there. Yeah, there it is. It's very cloudy. It just quit raining a little bit. But let's go in here and I'll show you guys how to hook up the solar system so we can charge this bad boy. All right, so we got our solar panels already set out. These are the cables that come with it. This right here is the solar input, and we'll go ahead and unplug this. No, we'll leave it going because you can plug AC, you can charge AC and solar at the same time. So we'll find DC one, because you can actually have multiple solar panels hooked up at the same time. And these are just, you can't mess this up. They only fit into certain ones, so you don't have to worry about making a mistake. All right, so there we go. We got them both plugged in. Let's see where we're charging at. All right, so we got 1724 watts coming into the system, but let's unplug the AC. Let's see if we can get any solar charging today. Okay, so we're charging at 31 watts, and that's just off of one solar panel and very cloudy. So guys, let's say our electric's out for a week, and I need to keep these refrigerators and freezers cycled on. So you guys know how a freezer works. It will run real hard to pull a lot of wattage. Whenever it gets everything to that certain temperature, the thermostat shuts it off and it stays off, so it's not really pulling any electric until it drops the temperature again, or actually raises the temperature, and it needs to cool down again. So you don't have to run this thing 24/7. You only have to do it every so many cycles to keep everything cold. So in a real world scenario, if we were out of power for a week, we got the solar panel here. We don't have to worry about charging this thing with a generator or charging it with AC grid from the electrical company. You can use these solar panels to recharge this Bluetti unit. And 29 watts. It's going to take a little bit to recharge, but if you only need to cycle this thing on like every couple hours or so, you can do it. Okay, so I had to close the garage door. Even the chickens were coming out to check out this cool Bluetti AC 500 unit. They said, hey, what you got going there? This is really cool. And I still got the solar panel plugged in. We're grabbing 35 watts from it, so that's pretty awesome. We're still losing 305 due to the fridge and the freezer, but this is supplementing it. It's going to slow down how fast this thing drains. So guys, if you guys are like me and Mojo and you're worried about losing money for food, or whether you are a medical patient and you have an oxygen concentrator, a BiPAP machine, anything like that, this thing can save your life. It can save you money. You don't have to go rush to the store and get money for gasoline for your noisy generators, which are unsafe, but you can just plug this in and listen. You can't even hear this thing. That is the beauty of the Bluetti AC 500 and the B300S combo with the battery banks. And like I said, guys, if you guys need even more power, up to 18,000 watts, you can get 6 of these bad boys, and you can daisy chain them right here, all the different plugs. Super easy. Bluetti has awesome customer support, and I've never had a problem. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, if you remember, we were down at the rock building, down at the lake property, the abandoned property, redoing that rock cabin. We had the Bluetti system with us down there. That is how we ran all our power tools. We don't even have electric down there at all. So with this unit, I was able to run table saws, skill saws, all kinds of stuff to get that construction done on that building. So anyways, if you guys are interested in something like this, the link is down in the description below, and you guys will not be dissatisfied. This is a game changer. Whether you're RVing, medical patient, you're a farmer like us and you need something for that extra security to make sure your freezers stay cool. If you guys are traveling to like the food markets or the farmer's market type stuff, and you have a trailer, you can put this thing right in there and it will run your freezers. You can put a solar panel on top. You can plug this thing right. You can wire it to where it's plugged into the battery on your vehicle. So anytime you have your trailer plugged in, it's recharging your Bluetti as you drive down the road. The possibilities are endless. So I said we were going to put this thing to the test. So we're going to do a long-term load test on this. We're going to leave the freezer and the fridge freezer combo plugged into the AC 500 and the B300S. Right now we are at 85%. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the AC back on, and we're going to let this thing run, see how long it will run, the fridge, freezer, and the freezer, and that'll tell us how long we can expect to get out of a battery on just one unit here. And we are at 85% starting the test. Fast forward 10 hours, the Bluetti AC500 and the B300S has 39% left on it. That's 10 hours of running a fridge and freezer combo. Let me see if I can get the power here, you guys. We started at 86 or 85%, and now we got 39 after 10 hours of use. I have no doubt. That's not just one, that is 2 refrigerators and a freezer. So that is awesome. If you had this set up on like a gasoline generator, you'd be out there filling up gas every so many hours, and gas is very expensive. The cool thing with this is I can hook the solar panel up to it and just keep it recharging, and then it's pretty much like free electric. So I'm gonna go give Mojo the good news because I know he's worried, so let's go see what he thinks. Well, I got the good news, man. We're gonna make it through this time, you know what? I know you're not too worried about it, or you would have come and helped me with the video, but anyways. He said he had faith in the Bluetti unit. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Check the link in the description below if you guys are interested in your own Bluetti products. Check out the AC500, and you guys will not be disappointed. See you next time.